All right, people. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is what should we call this? Is this Chase the Heat? Is it sober weekend? Is it? I'm not sure I like sober. I think recovery sounds better. Sober is like, sober. But recovery sounds more positive. Maybe we can talk about that, what we should call this segment. But that's where we're at right now. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Boy, you know what? Tell me if you guys can still hear me. Let's do it. Again, I forgot to plug my microphone in. So, how do I sound? Can you give me a 5x5? I know how I look. Just tell me how I sound. Winchester, Super X, good to see you. Kristen Melinda, good to see you. Silver Surfer, my dude. There's Lisa Trumbull. Thank you for being here, Lisa. All right, you guys can hear me. Snifteroo, good to see you. Mischief Managed. Oh, look at this. This is great. Jimmy Jam, Brock Bandy, my dude. Gouthie. So many great people here. All right. So we can talk about that. What should we call this thing? Zephaniah Harrison, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Miguel Torres, thank you for being here. Gouthie, Noah Wright, Patty Shack, Arwa, thank you for being here. Keith Kingman, Flamin' Koala. There's Mike. Good to see you, dude. Thank you for being here. Clayton Hollingsworth. All right. So listen, this is sober weekend. We got to talk about it. I'm not sure. I don't like the name sober. I'm proud to be sober, but I think it's off-putting if people are trying to get sober. Maybe recovery. Recovery is way more positive. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. A little bit before we even get into the show today, thank you for being here. I love that you're all here. Two people from in the last 2 weeks, two people are now in rehab because of what's gone on here. So that's a really positive thing. And that's what we're doing. All right. And thank you for being here. Kate Jordan, thank you for being here. Look at this. This is great. All right. So, you know what we haven't talked about? We have not talked about. We really haven't talked about the clearinghouse. I'm up for that. Weekend Recovery Warriors. I like that. DCX1. Good to see you, Brian. Thank you for being here. Weekend Recovery Warriors. Yeah, you know what? It's it's a good thing that you're here. So, but here's what we've not talked about, and we've had several of these. But we haven't talked about if somebody's here and they're brand new and they're like, oh, someone's calling me to be here. Their window's open. We talk about that window being open. We need some bullet point steps you can take. We have not covered those. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you some bullet point. So if somebody's just entertaining the thought, like, hey, you know what? Maybe I ought to cut back, or maybe I ought to stop completely. I applaud your decision. I don't ever say, hey, you got a problem. I try to get you to the point where you say, the fact that if somebody's even here, you either like me a lot, which I can't be that. It can't be that. Everybody here, I assume, has got something they're trying to work through. Here's the great news. The principles of beating an addiction are the same, because we have a malfunctioning reward center in our brain. So whether you're pulling a handle on a slot machine, whether it's sugar, it doesn't matter what it is. The steps to correct it really are all the same. It's really beautiful, actually. Jane, good to see you. Thank you for being here. All right. So the number one, the first bullet point, you're here. That's a beautiful thing. Lisa Tremble. You know what? I love you, Lisa Tremble. It's my sister right there. It's a good woman. She just gifted somebody a Chase the Heat membership. If you got it, there's a lot of good information there. Hi, Lacey Silver. Meredith Lynn. Oh, no, it's a room raid from my sister-in-law. So what we need to do right now, my sister-in-law, is Relatable Reese. So Quibs. Somebody put Quibs her channel up. We want everybody here. There's a bunch of people here that weren't coming over for Reese. Please, everybody subscribe to Reese. Please, because she's amazing. Where is Reese? Hi, Kathy Ann. Look at this. We definitely got a room raid going on here, people. I got you, Bizzle. If you have a question or a comment, Shauna B., thanks for being here. Everybody here coming from Reese. First of all, I love Reese a lot, but this is a sober weekend. So if you guys don't have an issue, you may not want to be here, because what we're talking about is sobriety, because most people here are Hi, Angel, Just Joan, Leah, look at this, Shell, Amy, Ghostwriter, Abigail. Boy, oh boy. That's a sister-in-law right there. And there's her channel. Thank you, Kay. I'm also got it up there. Deborah Dagger, Sherry LeBrun. Look at this. Kat. That's a sister-in-law. So Marcy, Holly, Allison, Carla. All right, so look at here's what we're doing. Anybody who's already here that hasn't yet subscribed to Reese, you have to right now, or I'll turn this bus around. Now, again, I this isn't such a fun video if you're not somebody that has something you're trying to quit. That's what we're talking about, all right? Because I have been addicted to or abused every drug there is, and if you could have seen the things that I've done to get what I needed to get, it would stun you. Bull Cow, good to see you. Robin, good to see you. Thank you for being here, Robin Miners. Chili Chaplin, how cool. Thanks for being here. So what we're talking about, the bullet points to get well, all right? Because we've been taught, everybody's been helping out. We've had people get into rehab because of this, and you find a lot of judgment-free support here. I am not the expert in sobriety that my brother is. All right. So please, if we can put also Tommy's channel up. Most people here, between me, Reese, and Tommy, you're going to be, it's kind of a thing we got going on here. But please, you're going to get a lot more support for your sobriety than my brother. He's just better at it than I am. That said, I'm 15 years sober from dope, meth, coke, all the bad ones. All right. And almost 5 years. I'm rolling in on 6 years of being free of alcohol. All right. Bankhead, good to see you. So although I'm not the expert that Tommy is, I'm sober. So it gives me I feel like I'm qualified. There's the expert. Here's my guy right there. Reese, look at that. Thank you for Reese. You're awesome for doing that. You guys are awesome. So I was just telling everybody, this may not be a really fun video, an episode, because I'm talking about sobriety. But here are the steps. I think establishing your why is really important. Truth of the matter, it doesn't really matter what your why is. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if something you pray to, if it's your children, if it's the reflection you're getting in the mirror every morning, if it's how people, if it's the voice that say you gotta drink another one, you gotta smoke another one, or whatever. Find out what your why is. It doesn't really matter what it is. Just get sober. Here's my brother's channel. Guy's amazing. He's my hero. Bless your crochet. Thanks for being here. All right, so super important thing, and I'm not even close to being caught up, so I'm just gonna kind of miss the chat for a bit. I'm going to talk, so I apologize if I'm missing important stuff. Please forgive me. Okay. Gambling questions. I don't really gamble, Bizzle. That was a question you had. I gamble on me. I don't gamble on animals. I don't gamble on people. I bet on me all the time, and when I do, I usually win. So. But, gambling is another one of those vices. So the good news is, as I said earlier, it's a malfunctioning reward center in our brain. So it doesn't really matter what your vice is. The principles are all the same. I think a sober app is really great. Let me tell you what I did when I got sober. I downloaded an app. It's called I Am Sober. I'll show you what it looks like. Just if anybody wants to do it. And the reason is, that's what the app looks like. Right there in the middle. I am sober. Ignore those 16,559 unresponded messages. Just ignore that. But I am sober. That's the app that I downloaded. Okay. Then you know what I did? I called my children. I have 3 grown kids. I called them all one at a time and said, hey, we have to have a talk. Then I spoke to my mom and dad. And Tommy called. And what it is this. It's burning the bridges. Is it a great story of burning? I don't even know if it's a true story. Who cares if it is or not? Great story about a pirate. I heard it being Cortez. It doesn't really matter who it is, but he was apparently had 3 or 4 boats, ships, surrounded by a couple dozen of the enemy. And he said to his men, he got all his men together, and he said, hey, row to the island. There's an island right behind him. There was an island. They said, row to the island and then burn the boats. They said, I'm sorry, come again. He said, row to the island and burn the boats, or I'll kill you. So everybody rowed to the island. They set their boats on fire. Got them all on the beach. He said, now, gentlemen, we have something to fight for. I burned my bridges. I called my kids. I told my family. Here's one bridge I didn't burn. I didn't laser. I got you. I didn't tell my channel. I waited a year. You know why I did that? Because I didn't want to look. When I started a channel, I didn't go to my friends and say, "Hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel," because I would have heard, "What are you? You're not 15 years old. What are you doing that for?" So I didn't want to hear it. So I just started my channel, and it kind of worked out. I did the same thing with my sobriety. I didn't go to my friends and say, hey, I didn't come to the channel and tell people. On the 1-year anniversary, I was so stoked. It was getting closer and closer. You get wind at your back. I was fired up. I ran at my sobriety like I used to run at the habit I had. If Tommy and I, if you knew some of the stuff that I've done to get a buzz, you wouldn't even believe it. You really wouldn't. So, super important. All right. You got to have that why. I have a friend who goes to meetings, and the only reason they go to meetings is so they can get those little coins. The great news about that app, the I Am Sober app, every single day you get a coin. In fact, when you're brand new, every couple hours you get a coin. You look at it, you see the time rising, how long you've been sober, how much money you've saved, and it gives you its wind at your back. I think that's important. Now, I will tell you this, 2 times before I quit drinking, 2 times I downloaded the app. 3 days later, I'm drinking. Felt so guilty about drinking. I deleted the app because I didn't want to look at it. It made me feel guilty. The last time was the last time. There's such a thing as a good relapse, right? I didn't know that until I had a good relapse. And now I got the wind in my back. So on the 1-year anniversary is when I told everybody. All right. And that was a really big deal for me. But I'm telling you, I think so. I'm not telling you to burn your bridges when you get sober. I'm just telling you what I did. All right. So that was really, I knew if I told the people closest to me that, all my chips were getting shoved into the mill, and I was committed. And that was a really important thing. So talk about it on Tommy's channel. We talk about a 5 a lot. This is a really important thing. A 5. It's 5 people that you can talk to. If you're in a jam, you go like this. You start, oh my God, you start thinking about whatever substance it is, and you know how it is. I'm an addict. I know how it is. Instead of using, you have 5 people. It's a really important thing. And these are not 5 people. Listen, it can't be somebody that's just super level-headed and they're sharp. They've never really gone through the problem, but boy, they're just level-headed and they can help me. No, they can't. It has to be somebody who's been down that road and somebody who's sober. And it can't be somebody who's new sober. I'm not knocking anybody who's new sober, because I'll tell you what, they're the most exciting sober people in the world to me. They're more exciting than the people that have 20 years of sobriety. If someone says, I have 4 days under my belt, I'm like, oh my God, 4 days. That's exciting. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, it's got to be somebody that has a little bit of sobriety under their belt. But the other thing is, you're so awesome. You know what? Hang on just a second. Anyway, you got to have a 5, but you have to be willing to call your 5. There have been times where I've had a 5 where I didn't call them. Every time I had a 5 and didn't call them, do you know why I didn't call them? Can anybody guess why I didn't call them? Even though I had a 5, why do you think I wouldn't have called them? Because I wanted to use. Anybody say that? Anybody thinking it? Because I wanted to use, and that was the bottom line. That was the truth of it. So you got to get to a point where you're ready to Man, stop that. Give me just a second. I apologize, you guys. This is why I need a program manager. There we go. All right. Each time I had a 5, I could have called them. I didn't. You know why I didn't? Because I wanted to use. And that's what happened. So you've got to get to the point where you want to stop. You want to stop. Years and years ago, my brother said something amazing. He goes, when people really quit using drugs? This is why we're using. We talked about sobriety constantly while we're using. Because people stop using drugs when they've done enough. I don't know if that's true, but I got to a place where I had done enough. You know what I mean? So having a 5 is really important. But being willing to call those 5 is even more important. You got the greatest 5 in the world. Doesn't matter if you don't call them, right? So you really got to push your chips in the middle. You got to say, you got to run at it. I think you do. My journal. I fought Tommy so bad. I got you at Laser Show. I'll check it out in just a minute. I fought Tommy for years about, I'm not even joking you, for years about journaling. Journaling is really, really important. Journaling is like anybody who's a therapist, because the therapists that'll watch this, I'm not knocking a therapist. All right. That said, I'm telling you, it's like an inexpensive little, Timu therapist. It'll help. You got to be honest. Because here's what'll happen. It'll help. You'll learn stuff through your journaling. You really will. But it's a very, very important thing to do. I think a really, really important thing is to plug in to something like this. She does look great in blue, doesn't she? That's what I was doing, people. Plug it into a group like this. And here's the reason I say that. It's so critical. When you become invested in somebody else's sobriety, you cannot believe what it'll do for your own. KM, did she say? The journal is a little better than a Timu therapist. Yeah, it is. This was given to me by a friend of mine that I've known for years and years. And I just, every time I wear it, I refill it. It's a beautiful little journal. But that's really important, you guys. And that, yeah, you have to want to do it. Get plugged in. You know, I think everybody sort of felt that. There are people here that weren't here 2 weeks ago. But 2 weeks ago, we were doing one and we had, or is it last week? It was last week. While we're doing this, everybody, I'm watching the chat. It says, a guy named Charles says, I need help. I'm in a bar. I'm drinking. I need help. It's like, holy mackerel. Because Tommy talks about windows are, you know, once you realize that you're drinking too much or drugging too much or whatever, your window comes open. When your window's open, you're thinking, oh my God, I got a problem. Then you shut the window and you go use again. This guy was sitting in a bar. His window's open, looks down, sees my live stream. He hasn't emailed me yet. He says he was going to. He didn't drive home, right? But, you know, good things can happen. You know what I mean? It's like watering a seed. You know, you plant it. It's going to get watered on its own. Somebody asked about how to follow. Okay, great question, Angie. Do you follow a format when you journal? How do you start? Great question. Because I'm a writer. I like writing. If you're not a writer, what do you do? All it is your conscious, like a random stream of consciousness. Just talk about how you're feeling, what your day was like, what's pissing you off, where are you struggling, what are you struggling with? You know what I mean? So that you don't really have the worst thing you can do is think that you have to have a format or you have to follow a certain. Listen, there's no rules. You're just pouring your up in here. But here's the truth of it: if you don't get it out, it's going to come out on its own, one way or another. So if you can, third eye open. Thank you for being here. You can just get it out. Now, Tommy advocates writing in the morning and at night. I journal at night. I don't journal too much in the morning. I've tried. It doesn't really work that much for me. Every once in a while, if I dream, I do. If like I have a dream or something, I'll journal my head off when I wake up. I don't often dream that I remember. I think the most important thing is just to write it. Look at that. Robin says, vomit on paper. It's what it is. You're just spitting it out and get it out there. And it's really important. If you get it out, you know, look at this. You can draw on your journal as well. Absolutely. What you're doing is it's just an outlet. Because I'm telling you, if you don't provide an outlet for it, it'll come out with your mouth. You're going to say something you shouldn't. It's going to come out in your behavior. You're going to do something you shouldn't. I'm telling you, it's really, it's you know, it's like tie it back up and go to work. But to me, that's what it is. It's just getting it all out. But a really, really important thing, Amen. Hold on one second. A really, really important thing about journaling, I think if all you do is write stuff down, you're missing out on the really, really important. I'm going to star this and come back to it, Amy, I promise. I think if all you do though is write stuff down, you're missing a really, really important part of journaling. Let me give you an example. Wow. Please pray for Anika's mom. Wow. Prayers. And you know, you're going to see ones in the chat, you guys. It's for people who are believers. That's prayers. For people who aren't, it's just a virtual hug. It's, positive vibrations, whatever. It's, you know what it is? It's, man, I'm in a different place. My path will never cross yours in real life, but I care about you. So if you could do that, that'd be great. It's important. What was I talking about? Man, oh man, let me get back to, journals. Sorry. If one would think that just through the process of putting pen to a paper and writing it down, that you're aware of what you're writing. So you think, okay, I got this. That's all you need. I promise you, if you go back and read and I don't mean just go back a couple of days, sometimes go back a month or a couple months, but when you go back and read what you've written, like there are times where I've said, like literally, like how many times are you going to write that down, you idiot, before you do something about it? It's like 10 days in a row, you've written the same thing. Fix it. And when you go, if I hadn't gone back and reread it, I wouldn't have seen the patterns as glaringly obvious as, you know what I mean? It wasn't as obvious writing it as it was reading it. That's what I'm trying to say. Amy says, isn't there a nonprofit that locks people from bars for free? It was started by a group of moms against drunk drivers. No, Mother Against Mad. Mother Against Mad. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. You know what the truth of it? There's a bunch of programs like that. I'm not sure if that's what you're thinking about, but there's a bunch of programs like that. Laser, we had poison in us when we were fresh sober. It has to get out. Well, you know what? It's interesting you say that. Let me tell you something interesting. When I got sober on April, 5 years ago. And I got sober, and I wasn't really hammered the day before, but I stopped drinking. The next day I was sober. 2 days later, I was more sober. That happened for a year, man. I'm not even joking you. I was getting more sober all the time. And I know it sounds stupid and ridiculous, but you do. You get more sober as the time goes on. It's kind of crazy. It's true how that works, though. All right. So, Jamie, I need prayers and thoughts. Got some unexpected health stuff. Going to be working through soon. I'm nervous about it. Absolutely, Jamie. Prayers from me. I mean it. Here's the thing. How many times have these, like we do these sober things where someone says, hey, I'm sober for a month today. We raise this, the famous lifeboat, I'm proud of you trophy. And it all matters. When one of us wins, we all win, right? One victory, your victory is my victory. But when one of us hurts, we all hurt. When one of us is scared and apprehensive, we all are. So you're definitely in our prayers. I mean that. Han, you're just amazing. 5. Thank you so much. Just gifted 5 Chase the Heat memberships. Now, some of you guys that are just going to get a membership right now, thank you, Han. You are a rock star. For those getting a membership, listen, there's 238 videos that have never, ever been seen on the regular channel. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. The Couch Time series, check them out. But anyway, please enjoy it and appreciate you doing that, Han. You're amazing. Amy says, comment, drunk driving still shouldn't be happening because of organizations like that. Yeah, you're right. I only found out through a Netflix documentary, I Am a Killer. I haven't seen that, but you know what? It's funny. It isn't just that. Like on my phone, look, watch. There's Lyft. There's Uber. You know what I mean? It's like you can push a button and have I was in Perth. True story. Perth, Australia. And I'm telling you, if you went, it was in the outback. I mean, I was in the middle of nowhere. We drove. Listen, Australia, if they say it's a short drive, it could be 6 hours, right? So I was in Perth and they said, we're going to go do a radio show. I said, cool. We drove for hours and they should have said, dude, you need to go to the bathroom. You would go now. They didn't warn me. I'm in the car forever. We get there. He drops me off in Splits and I'm going to get an Uber out. I pushed same button. I pushed the button. That Uber in Perth was there in 4 minutes. You don't drink and drive. There's no reason for it. And not even just that. You have friends that who among us would say if somebody called you hammered and said, I need a ride, who would say, you got this, dude. Just put your seatbelt on. Remember where you live, right? Who would do that? Who wouldn't just jump out and go get your friend, right? Uber and Lyft, there's no reason to ever drink and drive. Ever, 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 ever. Laser Show, for anyone's being affected over the fires in LA, this is not the time to use. Boy, man, you're not alone. We're here for you. I'll tell you what, it's a horrific thing to watch, is it not? You almost look at it and go, what year is this? Seriously, what year is this? I can't believe this is happening. It's just, it's literally hard to believe. It's rough. I love being sober for me, my wife, my son, because they deserve it. Keith, how about it, right? Very grateful for all of us in this chat being sober because we can do this together. It takes all of us. You know what? I got to tell you something. There are people in this chat hammered right now. There are people in this chat smoking something. I have a friend who, let me tell you a quick story. I have a friend I knew him, met him when I was Met him when my wife was pregnant with Johnny Jr. So he's 25 years ago, 26 years ago. I worked with him, and just a great guy, best salesman I ever knew in my life. I got sober. We reconnected after years of not working together. He says, you're sober, man. I'm so proud of you. I said, good. He goes, I got a problem. Will you help? I said, yeah, what's your problem? So, I can't stop drinking. When I met him, when I knew him, he looked like me, man. Same kind of physique. He had ballooned up to 350 pounds, and I felt bad for him. I love the guy. So I said, what can I do to help? He said, there's just like a 5-mile stretch, 20 minutes about every day. I got to drive through it. Every bar in the world is on that stretch. Can you talk to me? I said, sure. So every day he'd call me. I'm like, hey, dude, what are you up to? What was your day like? And we would talk. He'd drive home. All right. He was drinking every day. He had a beer between his legs. Didn't stop drinking. He had a great wife. She says, if you drink again, I'm leaving you. He wakes up on the couch. He's sleeping on the couch one day. His wife wakes up, blowing this. She's got a breathalyzer. He blows in it, wakes up. A couple hours later, her wedding ring is on the table. Works it out, goes to therapy, says he's going to stop drinking. Calls me on a Friday. Maybe it's a Thursday. I can't remember. Thursday or Friday. Years ago. He goes, dude, I'm dying. I said, man, you're a hypochondriac, bro. I've known you for 20 years. You say this all the time. He goes, no, this is what he said. He goes, I can feel it in my bones. I don't preach on this channel ever, but I said to him, I said, really? I said, are you square with God? Are you squared with the Lord? He goes, yep, I am. I said, okay. So you're not going to die, dude. I said, we talked for a little bit. Saturday, a couple days later, phone rings. Tim. I answer it. It's his wife. I'd never spoken. They've been married for 15 years. I've never spoken to her before in my life. I knew the second I heard her voice. She goes, Sean died yesterday. Every day he was driving with a beer between his legs. There are people in this chat drinking right now and using right now. You know what I say to them? Who care? You're here. We're moving the right step. Listen, in 2025, you know what my New Year's resolution is? I'm either moving in a positive direction towards love, or I'm moving in a negative direction towards hate. This side of love is also sobriety. This side is using. So I wouldn't, so nobody sick. If you Tommy says all the time, imagine you go to a hospital, somebody's sick as a cough. Hey, what are you doing? You sick? Get the hell out of here. It's a hospital. What's the matter with you? So, I don't expect every single person in this chat to be sober. It would be nice, But Keith Kigman's sentiment, yeah, man, I'm proud everybody's here. Everybody who's sober fighting the fight, awesome. Zach Smith, shut up. Good to see you, Zach. Good to see you, man. But seriously, it's a good point that Noah made about the fires. Look, we all have stress on us. Can you imagine? Nothing's scarier than a fire, barreling down at you, and you don't know if your insurance is going to hit you. Pretty ridiculous. All right. So Amy says you have to want help and be ready to own. You need help. Here's the thing. You know what it is? Sam, good to see you in the Philippines. Thanks for the photos, man. Beautiful. You have to want to get help. It's a tough thing. Look at Juana says, I'm sober today. I love you for that. Yesterday doesn't matter. You know why, right? It's gone. It's gone. The breath you took. Can you get that breath back? No, you can't get yesterday back. So whatever happened yesterday, today you're sober. That's what matters. Tomorrow, email me. It's chasetheheat@gmail.com. Tomorrow we'll do it again. It's just one day at a time. You can't, isn't that funny? We have all seen the bumper stickers, one day at a time. Brian Vandenberg, good to see you. Thank God. I'm not talking about you guys, but thank God I can't live 2 days at a time. I'd be dead already if I could. Many times in my life I say, I can't wait for. If I could have a 2-day sleep cycle where I go to sleep and wake up, 2 days are gone because I was trying to get to something exciting, I've already slept my life away. We can only do 1 day at a time. So why worry about tomorrow, right? Who cares? Tomorrow may not even come. Great. I heard this great quote. The person who worries before it is necessary worries more than is necessary. Don't worry about something until it's on you. So don't worry about tomorrow. Be like dogs. Dogs are amazing. Dogs don't remember yesterday. Need fire. I got you. I'll come to your thing in just a minute. Dogs don't really remember yesterday. You know, I mean, they certainly don't have a concept about tomorrow. You can't say, hey, tomorrow we're going, you know, they don't understand that. They live in the moment. If we were more like dogs, we'd be a lot better off. Not even joking about that. Bobby Jean, I love your family. You're really helping me right now. That's why we're here. You know what I mean? I'm no expert at all. I'm just an idiot willing to sit in front of a camera that's waving the flag, hoping that people just kind of follow along. Listen, I'm not the expert that Tommy is. Tommy is such an expert, you know, in sobriety. I'm just a cheerleader. That's all. Laser show's got to make dinner. Not a problem. Listening on my headphones in the kitchen. Spaghetti Friday. Ooh, I love spaghetti. Do you got anybody in the chat old enough to remember what day Prince Spaghetti Day was? Isn't that crazy? That was 1,000 years ago. What day was Prince Spaghetti Day? Hi, Sean Odom. Got here. We miss a lot. We're talking sobriety, steps to get sober. You got to really want it, you know. That's what they listen. Here's the deal. I'm a junkie. I'm a former criminal, but I'm sober, right? My life is going really well. My brother, same thing. Only he robbed banks, and he's sober. So, you know, I eat peppers all the time, and you know, I got sober 5 years ago and told people about it, and a lot of people have been messaging me, and I thought it'd be great to start a segment about sobriety. So that's what you missed. So that's what I'm saying. This isn't a great. There are a lot of people that follow me. They're like, you know, you're not eating pepper, you're not playing guitar. Where's this cat? He's talking about what? Later. It's okay. Not a problem. You know what? Safe ride, Alex D. Safe ride. I'll have to research it. I don't like talking about things that I'm not knowledgeable about. I can surmise what I believe it's all about, but until I do a deep dive, I'll tell you what. Tomorrow, you can bet we'll do. I'll give a great explanation on Safe Ride. I just haven't looked into it. I didn't want to let that go by and let you think I wasn't. I see it, and I promise I'll address it tomorrow. It makes you a hero. You're awfully kind, Amy. Not even close. Need fire. The unwise man is awake all night. Worries over and over again. Morning rises. He's restless and burdened as before. Amen. The other thing that Need Fire said, hey, just did 6 hot balls, Johnny Scoville. Johnny Scoville chat. It's really nice and clear heat. I know exactly what that means. You know what's really funny? I've described that before. I'm like, it's a clean heat, clean. The endorphin dump you get from that is so different. People are like, what? It is. Oh, Sean, I'm going to rehab for the second time. I've always enjoyed Capsaicin. Capsaicin will help you. I can't believe it's this late in the call and I haven't put this in here. All right, people, take a look at this, please. All right, did you know? Now, spicy food, that's capsaicin is what we're talking about. Eating spicy foods causes your brain to produce hormones like serotonin, which makes you better equipped to deal with depression, anxiety, anger, and stress. Now, you are going into rehab, Sean. Those things I just mentioned, man, if you could really get a solid head on those 4 things, how much easier would sobriety be, right? Dogs only remember yesterday if there's a treat involved, right? That's true. And if you say tomorrow, I'll give you a treat, they just hear treat. They don't hear tomorrow. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, the pictures of your dog, you know what dogs and animals do? They give you a dopamine dump. They do. Dopamine's great. We couldn't do anything without dopamine. I think it's kind of an interesting thing. I think that you know, there are people that are born with a predisposition for addiction. I think I was born with an addiction to dopamine. Because I certainly wasn't born with an addiction. I wasn't craving alcohol or anything like that when I was little. But I remember being a little kid rolling down a hill, getting up, going, I just felt something different. I listen. You can go by a little grade school playground, and you see kids spinning around in circles till they fall down. That's a kid, you know, be on the lifeboat. You know what I mean? He's looking to feel something different. That was me. It is what it is. Thank you, Amy. You're awfully kind. Here's the thing. I don't want, you know, with all the terrible things I've done, and it would be horrific for me not, especially since I've corrected a lot of bad stuff. It'd be horrific for me not to show others how to do the same. You know what I mean? I couldn't live with myself. just to have to go back to shaving in the dark again. Do that when you're an addict. You know, put the light on very, not fun to look at. I wish I could use spice to manage my pain, but man, my GI won't have it. Yeah, I'll tell you what, capsaicin is an amazing painkiller. Marcy didn't know that about spicy food. Most people don't. But I'll tell you what, I do not know Bubba Dickey, Cody T. Sorry. Sounds like somebody I should know. Here's the thing, Marcy. I'm kind of a chili head. It's my thing. Been to a million chili festivals, and what I started realizing, even before I ever got sober, was there were so many people in the chili world that were sober, and I mean from everything. So I started seeing a pattern, and then here's the deal. What ultimately made me decide I needed to quit drinking was, I'm a content creator. I don't have a boss. I fired my boss at my job, and I'm doing this for a living, and I don't have I go to these shows and everybody's drinking a Bloody Mary at 8:00 in the morning. And I'm like, give me one. And they wouldn't take my money at pepper shows. At least not anywhere. I walk by, take the sauce. I'm like, no, let me buy it. No, take it. It was like that at every single place. So I realized that if I didn't make a change, there was going to be a problem. And it wasn't even like I was hammered all the time. I was just always drinking. So that was my motivation. I didn't want, I'm Johnny Scoble, not Lemmy Kilmister. Kind of, you know what I mean? Anyhow, Jamie Palmer, my doctor's appointment is February 3rd. I'm going to need to buy a lot of spicy food next time I'm at the store. The great thing is it centers you. Honest to God, there's a correlation. There's such a correlation. And here's what it is. It isn't just that people that used to drink and drug found peppers. It's that it fills the gap. It does the trick. What it does is instead of white knuckling it and like, oh my God, I'm gonna get through this day. It's not like that. You flip a switch. To me, I know I'm reluctant to talk about this too much because I know people that white knuckle it every day. And for those people, my God, I'm so sorry. But for me, it was like hitting the switch on a wall. I decided that morning I wasn't going to drink again. Just never did. It's a non-issue for me. I don't even know really what day my sober date, unless I look at my app on my phone. The nurse who loved me. Oh, I have to show something. Hang on 1 second. After the last live I watched, I decided to commit to the chili cause. I usually put cayenne pepper in everything, but I bought a bunch of different fresh peppers and I started experimenting with heat. Here's the truth of it. It doesn't even need to be super hot. It can be it can be cayenne. It can be a bell pepper. The capsaicin, actually, probably bell pepper probably isn't going to do it for you. But jalapenos, habaneros, they all work. Now, since the nurse who loved me, I almost forgot. I'm so glad you left a comment that I saw. I want to show you. This is really exciting. I didn't do mine because mine doesn't matter because I'm just the clown behind the camera. There is the nurse who loved me. She emailed me. This was a few days ago. 4 years, 10 months, 12 days, 8 hours, 27 minutes and 17 seconds. I'm proud of you. Wicked proud of you. Bizzle sent me his. He doesn't have an app. He emailed it to me. He was on nerve pills. He dropped nerve pills the summer of 2011. Xanax, which was his favorite. He got rid of Klonopin and Valiums as well. Now, stay on. Real quickly, Biz and the nurse who loved me, I'm so proud of you. If you guys want your sober date, I'd love to show it off. If you've got a sober date, email me at chasetheheat@gmail.com. And please, you can, I'll flash it in the next one. You guys are awesome. Alan Mead, good to see you. Renee, you're not late. You're not late at all, but tardy slips are going to Bizzle today. Yeah, Mischief Managed had last week. It's Bizzle tonight. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. You're good. Just because they're tasty. And they are tasty. But honest to God, they'll help you in life. They just do. I'm a better person because of the chilies. Analog Adventures. Good to see you, Dylan. So yeah, and you know it doesn't, Dylan. I know you sent me yours two shows ago or 2 weeks ago. Well, every single week, there's nobody who's going to send me their sobriety counter screenshot that I'm not going to post. So, but please do me a favor. If you do, put sober counter or put sober in the subject so it doesn't slide by me. Cody, I have not tried the Asia pepper. Is Dizzy in the chat? I might have. I might. I'm not sure. I've eaten a lot of peppers, man. I think I might have. It sounds familiar. I know it's terrible, right? But it's been we're closing in on 7,000 videos. So, Shelly Kelly, addiction for gambling. You know, here's the interesting thing: our reward center in our brain for somebody who's addicted, we have a damaged reward center. All right. So it doesn't matter what the addiction is. So I would think, I know for a fact, people that have been helped from smoking, from sugar, food addictions with capsaicin. Now, gambling is, hold on. I do know somebody from gambling. I do. I know somebody who's chili head and had a gambling issue. Who is it? I'll find out who it is, and I'll ask them if I can use their name. But I believe it'll help everything. I really do. It's worth giving it a shot because I'm telling you. Well, look, of course it will. Do you want? Of course it will. Because here's the thing: capsaicin is going to raise those things that we just talked about: depression, anxiety, anger. Those are triggers, whether you're gambling or it's sugar, whether it's a sex addiction. It doesn't make any difference. Those are still triggers. It's not like those are triggers only for somebody who's drinking or smoking something. Triggers are triggers. In fact, do you realize those are triggers for people who don't have an addiction? Like your neighbor irritates you. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to hit him. Eat a pepper. Even if you don't have an addiction, it's going to make you nicer. I would try it. Seriously, Shelly Kelly, and tell me how it works. Look at this. Dylan, I hit triple digits from alcohol, or you hit tomorrow 100. That's a significant milestone. Triple digits is a big deal. That's awesome. Amy, do you and Tommy both have 3 kids? We do. We both do. My oldest is my daughter. She just got accepted into medical school. She graduated pre-med, second in her class. Thank God she's smarter than I am. She's amazing. My middle son is, my oldest. That's my youngest is my daughter. My middle son is doing well. He's Johnny Jr. He has his own channel also. My oldest is a computer cyber specialist, and he's a trip. Anderson says, "A squirrel have an OnlyFans?" It's actually Only Beans. You bet. She's expensive though, but man, her photos are crazy. Squirrel, she's a great cat. You know, honest to God, she slept on my bed last night. She never does that. She slept in my room, but never on my bed. I couldn't believe it. She jumped on my bed. It scared me because it's like, are you kidding me? It's dark. I'm just talking to the cat in the dark. I'm like, Squirrel, you need something? You didn't come here to lay down, did you? And she laid down. I was like, no way. It's crazy. Tommy's going to be back soon. It's going to be interesting to see how she reacts on it. I bet she's going to give him the cold shoulder for about 22 seconds. Keith Kimming, not to change the subject, I hope you guys are far away from the wildfires. My heart and prayers go out to all the people who are affected by that. Boy, absolutely. I'm way far away, but you know what? The producer and the assistant producer, or director, the director and assistant director of the show I was in, Super Hot, is right there. And his brother lost his home. So it's a bummer. Alan Mead, you're awesome. Thank you so much. We'll do that for sure. Thank you for doing that. I'll tell her they're from you. This is fine. 2 weeks, and I ruined it yesterday. Here's the deal. We're going to talk about that. This is fine. I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about that. Now, if you had let's say hypothetically, you had an app on your phone, and it said 2 weeks, and then yesterday you had a few drinks or whatever it is. I'm just throwing hypotheticals, right? What's going to happen? Do you start over? Do you go back to zero? There's such a thing as a good relapse, and there's such a thing as a bad relapse. You know what a bad relapse is? A bad relapse is where you use and you park it there and you stay in that spot for you have another run. That's a bad relapse. And if you do that, I think you ought to start your app over again because man, you need to. You went 2 weeks and yesterday you slipped up and today you're in this chat, you're saying, man, should you start over? Some people would say you should. You know what I say? It was a good relapse. You're back on the bus. You're here. I don't think you need to start over. You certainly don't need to beat yourself up over it. If anything, I applaud your honesty. That's one of the reasons this format, all right, this medium works so well. If you had to walk into a room and say, man, I had 2 weeks going for me and I drank yesterday or did whatever, it'd be a lot harder. We don't see you. You see me. I don't see you, so this is beautiful. Honesty. The best thing about being sober, I don't have to lie. When I was an addict, I lied every 5 seconds. I had to. I couldn't let the two lives, it's like independent George and dependent George. I couldn't let the two cross. Some people are like, what is he talking about? If you know, you know. Seriously, this is fine. If you want to start all over again, hey, I'm with you. My email is chaseheat@gmail.com. We'll do this together. If you want to start over, no problem. But if you want to say, you know what? Yes, there was a hiccup. I'm back on. You're not going to get any crap from anybody here. If you do, they won't be here. You don't get condemnation here. You get that everywhere else. Honest to God, right? You come here to avoid that. What you get here is that person doesn't even know me, just threw ones my way. What? These people who don't know me are supporting me? What? Yeah, look at this. That's why you come here. I love the honesty. This is fine. You got this. Since you're in the channel, you want to change just like me. That's why we're here. So don't start your counter over. It'd be silly. Real Deal loves Bizzle. So do I. Oh, Bizzle must have said something good. What did Bizzle say? I miss a thing from Bizzle. Bizzle's a rock star. Johnny's trying to steal your baby girl. Is Tommy in the chat? All right, I'm caught up. I might have missed a bunch of stuff. I'm sorry. If Tommy's in the chat, she just laid on my bed. I might have petted her, but that's about it. Look at this. Look all the Lisa. You're here. You can do it. That's why. So you know what's happening? I said in the beginning, I said, get involved, become a part of somebody else's recovery. When you do, it does wonders for your own. Who is in recovery right now that feels a part of somebody else's? And you can feel it's a positive thing. Get involved with somebody else's sobriety. You got this. This is fine. And Lisa, you're awesome. And Left Eye Pat, I thought we talked about this, dude. I thought we talked about this. Left Eye Pat is a great sober dude. Really, really good friend of mine. I love Left Eye Pat. Bizzle, I love you, Real Deal. And Kate, I love everyone here except Lego. Just kidding, Lego. And he said it twice. He put it in twice. So I'm going to show it twice. Bizzle's a rock star. Bizzle doesn't move. Bizzle, it's not a lazy thing. Bizzle was on a road rocket. Crotch rocket, going way too fast 20 years ago and crashed. And he's paralyzed. And he types with a stylus in his mouth. I'm not fooling. I love that guy. One of the few people I talk to on the phone. I love him like a brother. So you want to know, that guy's my hero. He's 10 times stronger than I am. You know what? You think I'm going to buy that? Why were you late last time, Left Eye Pat? Remember? You said, I'm going to be honest, I went down the Feldman rabbit hole. What do you think? I think you've been. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you think Left Eye Pat's been watching the Comeback King. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's been going down the Feldman rabbit hole. You're not going to see any 2s. 2s if you think he hasn't. It's all 1s, man. And I get it. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. Honest to God, if you knew how many times Tommy and I have done that, you know what sucks? I'll be sitting on the couch and I'll see a funny one. I'm like, holy crap, Tommy's going to love this. I'll send it to him. Next thing you know, it's on the screen. We're not on our phones anymore. We're looking at Comeback King. Funny though, isn't it? I love you. Honestly, I'm not mad at you. Okay, I'm definitely going to say hello, but you have to help me. Is it I? It's I, Ian. Ian. It's not an L, it's Ian. So it's Emily and Ian. I hope I'm not saying that right. I'm bummed out because I probably am. But I saw the pictures of you. You're a beautiful family. Thank you for sending to me. I'm jealous. I love the Philippines so much. But hello and thank you for being here. I'm with you guys in spirit. Really, it's beautiful family pictures. Everybody loves Bizzle. Dean, you're a good dude. Thank you for being here, Dean. Humble and kind. I need to borrow your cars. Lego says Bizzle's a teacher's pet. Listen, Lego's, Lego, I'm not going to speak for him as far as bad substances, but he's sober. I'll let him talk about those himself. But you know what? He quit doing Capsaicin a month ago. Capsaicin fast for an entire month. And look what I got in the mail today. This is from Tom Broom, Seriously Evil 24. Please look at this. As seen on the spicy super hot, the spicy world of pepper people. This tincture is 10 million Scoville heat units. I have a bottle of this, obviously. Tom Broom has a bottle of this. And Lego has a bottle of this. So on the 14th, we're doing a live stream. And Lego's going to burn his lid off. He hasn't done anything for a month, and he's going to do 10 million. He didn't lose a bet. I'm not pushing him. No coercion. He just bumped his head. Now having a son who wants a motorcycle someday, I can't lie. A testimonial just freaked me out, Johnny. I'm not even going to tell you the half of it. Don't let and you know what the crazy thing is? Bizzle would say, I'm not even caught up. I'm sure Bizzle said, let him get a bike. Don't let him get a bike. My best friend died on a bike that I bought him. Not over it still. Keith Taylor, thank you so much. I appreciate your super chat. Hi, Johnny. I truly believe that the world is a better place because of you, Tommy, and Spanx. Thanks to all of you. Can I tell you something? There was a time where the world would have been a better place without us. And there would have been people that would have lined up to tell you that. And it's a God thing. But I'm glad you're here, and thank you for your super chat, and thank you for saying that. I mean it. I got to get caught up, you guys. I'm caught up, and I'm sorry I'm so far behind. Man. You have a fog here in Dublin, Ireland. When do you not have? Don't you have fog all the time in Dublin, Ireland? Or that's London. Sorry, forget it. We have a fog here in Dublin, Ireland tonight. That's like something from a horror movie. Afraid to go outside in case it turns me inside out. You need to see the movie, The Fog. Horrifying. See, the problem is when I was talking, I missed some great things. I know I did. Wanna Love. I missed something important from Wanna Love. And I'm going to find them. I miss some important stuff. I gotta stop doing that. I'm so sorry. Listen, for anybody who's struggling, because there are people in this chat, we're having fun, we're enjoying each other's company, but I want to tell you something. There are people in the chat struggling and suffering right now. We all see you. That's why we're here. You know what I mean? Hang in there. You know, what I said is really important. Think about this. We just got through the holidays, and the bottom line is there's never a time when there's not a lot going on. There's never going to be a time when you don't have a lot on your plate. There's never going to time. It just seems like that. Lean into each other. That's why we're here, right? I think that's why we're here. So if anybody, I'm struggling emotionally, you know what? See you, Amy. Just so Amy, I want to make sure everybody feels like we're all in the same boat. If you're in this, there's 145 of us right now. If you're struggling with something, put a 1 in the chat, please. More interestingly, if you got no struggles going on, put a 2. I don't think we're going to see any 2s, you guys. It's part of the human condition. I'm not making light of it. You know what I'm saying? We're all broken and we all care. That's why I said earlier, when one of us wins, we all win, right? Right? When one of us is hurting, aren't we all hurting? Well, I have a couple Australians that have 2s. When you're hurting, we're all hurting. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Uber. Yeah, don't ever drink and drive. So to recap what we talked about, and this is what we talked about at the beginning, the steps, because we haven't really covered steps. These are the steps I took. Number 1, you're here, identify your why, start journaling. I would download an app. If they're super important, if you're trying to get sober from alcohol or benzos, don't quit cold turkey. Consult the doctor. Those are the only things you can quit cold turkey that can stop your ticker. All right. So if you're quitting alcohol or benzos, you consult a doctor. Right. All right. And then I would download an app. All right. Because it'll give you, especially when you're brand new at this, it'll put wind under your wings, man. It'll give you a lift. It'll give you some encouragement. All right. Start journaling. Please journal. It's critical. It really is that important. All right. The other thing is, get a 5. It's super important to get a 5. Benzodiazepine, Angel. It's Valiums are like that. Xanax. It's a depressant, and it slows your breathing down. And quitting them cold turkey can straight up kill you. No joke. And every day in prisons, there are people that get arrested. And when you're getting arrested, they're going to say, do you do any drugs? Look, I've never said, I've been arrested a lot. I've never said, yeah, let me tell you what I'm on. Every single time I've said, no, you don't want to say you're on anything. So people will get arrested and say, I'm not, are you on anything? No, I'm not taking Xanax every day, or I'm not drinking, getting loaded every day. And they get admitted. And if you say in the beginning, hey, yeah, this is what I'm addicted to, they're going to make sure you don't die when you're, you're locked up. But if you don't tell them what you got, they lock you up. And there are people that died today from withdrawals. All right. And the other thing is this: don't ever take anything on the street. If you didn't get it from, and I'm being serious now, I'm telling you that Tommy and I would not be alive if we were in our youth today, because every single thing on the street is going to have fent in it. And that's made to kill you. It is. That's what it's for. So, you know what I mean? It's like everything. They sprinkle it on weed. Every single pill you see, it may say Perk 30 on it. It's not. You can't trust that it is. Don't touch, unless you get it from a pharmacy and it's got your name on the label. Don't take it. Don't let other people take your drugs. Don't take other people's drugs. It's a scary time. But seriously, my email is chasetheheat@gmail.com. If you want, look, I'll help you as much as I can. Okay. Thank you, Yadira. And you do look spectacular in blue. No joke. So if you want me to show your sober dates, email me. Okay. Email me what it is. And here's the email. Thank you, Dean. Oops. Right there. I would say all pharmacies are safe, but even, I say that all pharmacies are safe. I heard a story of a guy that died of a fentanyl overdose, and he died from medicine that he got from a pharmacy. I don't know how much of that is sensationalistic. If it's true, either way, it's terrifying, but it's a lot. I mean, you want to believe that you're safe, right? I can tell you this, just, you can't play with something on the street. I mean, look, the pills that they have now are resistant to Narcan. What? Look, I was a bad guy for a long time. If you're selling dope and it's killing your customer, you know what you do? You rein it in a little bit. You back off. You don't, every time they test it, it's stronger than the last time they test it. You know why? They're trying to destroy us from the inside out. And that's what it is. And Jimo, Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Check out the couch time. It's a lot more of this kind of. You know what the couch time is for those who are interested? Here's what the couch time is. The couch time series, over the years, I've been asked, I can't, why? Why are you like this? Why do you do what you do? What happened to you? And the couch time series is that's what it's all about. Amy, I was given almost double the amount of Xanax I am prescribed. Thankfully, I'm not an addict. I only take them when I need it. You know what's interesting? You're not an addict. You put those in my house. I mean, I don't do, there was a day I wouldn't, it wouldn't be a problem today, but there was a day, there was a time. Ask Johnny about his totaling the car story. Oh, it's bad. That was bad. You know what? It's in the book that we'll be releasing. I keep been putting it off and putting it off. Recently had a split with a girl that I was with, which is a bummer, but I'm going to remove her completely from the book. And, Tommy and I kind of talked, and people, they went through enough already. They don't need to be in a book. So we're trying to remove as much of, especially the women from our past. They don't need to be punched again. So I'm making some changes. It'll take a little bit, but Brock actually read the whole book. Brock is, right there. He read the entire book. You know who else has? Tracy. Tracy's a Silver Surfer. He read it also. Be careful, you guys. Seriously. Hey, but you're so funny. I'm sitting in front of a camera talking. Nothing's off limits. Am I being too nosy? No. Are you referring to ex-partners married? Yeah. Well, no, not. Yeah, almost. There's a few that were, and I could write a whole book just on the women that, just not that there's been a lot, but just it's just been, look. So yeah, we're removing them all. And I owe Anna a steak. You know what? I want to make good on that. Dee Marie, look forward to the stories. Listen, here's the thing. It's going to be very, very interesting because there are some people that are going to read that and are going to just be like, okay, that's enough scope. We're done now. I hope not. It is what it is, You know what's happening right now? You know what's happening right now behind me? Can you see her? Can you see her? Can you see her? She's getting into this thing. That's my cat's cat box. It's called the Neocasa M1. It looks like a time machine. It's not even a cat box. It's got a scale in there. It tells me how much she weighs. If I go to the thing right now, it's going to tell me what she's doing for real. Tell me what time she got in there, what time she leaves. When the cat box is full, it says, hey, man, got to clean this thing out. Your cat happy. Thank you, Squirrel. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Email me. Thank you for being here. Oh, hold on a second. Can't you just change the names of the ladies to protect their privacy? You know what? I sure could. And I did. Every single name in the book has changed with the exception of Tommy and me. So not even my family's names appear. Not one anywhere. So even though I changed their names, they know who they were and they don't want to read. Honestly, I sure could, but it's a great book. Yeah, but you know what, though? You love me, dude. You sent me the spoon. Look what he sent me yesterday. Is that the coolest spoon you ever saw? Look at that thing. It's made out of bison horn. So, of course, he's going to like my book. But thank you for saying that. See, you can't read it, Arla. I'm afraid you're going to hate me. Listen, you have to have a wicked firm backbone if you think you're going to read that and be able to talk to me. It's a bad guy. All right. Oh, there's Silver Surfer. Well, you know what? Look how far behind I am. This is ridiculous. Hey, we're going to wrap up now. Just be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow's we only do the sober thing on weekends. Tomorrow, I can see you doing this all the time. Tomorrow. Love you too, Pat. Arwa, you're so sweet. You guys are all awesome. Please catch me tomorrow. We'll be here. Will it be on audio? You know, it's funny, Amy. People ask me, I cried writing it. I could never read it out loud. I couldn't. Like, I really couldn't. Hey, I love you guys. You're all awesome. Stay strong. Remember this. Anybody struggling with a substance, you're 10 times stronger than you think you are. If the cravings happen, you have 5 senses, right? I call it playing fetch with your brain. Treat your brain like a Labrador. And the way you get it to play fetch is occupy the senses. So if you're starting to crave something, put something in your mouth. Taste something. There's one of them. If you're looking at a room, get out and look in a different room. Go outside. There's 2 of your senses. Going outside, you're going to see things and you'll hear things that are different. You're going to smell things. You're going to touch something. If you occupy, if you change what's going on with your 5 senses, there's no way that craving is going to stay with you. And it doesn't matter how smart you are. You can trick your brain like a toddler. You have to know that you can do it. If the ants start going after you, the automatic negative response, get up and get out of the room you're in. Don't just sit there and let them go to work on you because they will work you over. I'm not kidding you. Stay strong. We'll do this tomorrow. Between now and tomorrow, if you have any questions, jot them down or email me them. We have till tomorrow. Anybody has a sober counter, email me at chasetoheat@gmail.com and we'll put them in tomorrow's video. I love you guys. And remember, Tommy is so much better at this than I am. Please check out the lifeboat. Oh, that's the interview. That's the wrong one. Check out the lifeboat. I love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was Recovery.